Hi, welcome back to Hollybush Railway. Dave here, and this week I've got another model railway exhibition video for you. I'm taking my third trip of the year across to Fife. After visiting the Glenrothes and Cupar exhibitions earlier in the year, this weekend I've taken a trip up to St Andrews for their model railway exhibition, organised by the East Neuk Model Railway Club. 10 fantastic layouts for you to enjoy. Hope you like the video. Please do click like, subscribe and all the rest of it. And please do enjoy this video of the St Andrews Model Railway Exhibition. Levenbank, N-Gauge, Glenrothes Model Railway Club. Levenbank is the club's largest N-Gauge layout, depicting a fictional quadruple track location on the ScotRail region of the East Coast Main Line, and set in the post-privatisation era of around 1995 to the present day. It is built as a continuous run layout with the two fast lines sandwiched by the other two slower freight lines. The platforms of Levenbank Station, with its buildings above the platforms, is built as an island design extending out from the tunnel under the town. The station also features two bay platforms for terminating local trains. Heading away from the station and tunnel, trains pass the freight loops, the small diesel multiple unit depot and the container terminal. At the far end of the layout from the station end, trains pass the rail-served cement works, which generates considerable cement, gravel and aggregates traffic for the railway. At this point, trains also pass what is modelled as the original DMU depot site before the new road was built, resulting in its moving to the present-day location.
Well, yeah. I've got too many. What came with it was a little lantern to say what would go on when they go on the back, and I did Cruive good trains goods. That's what I got. I didn't know you had that. Yeah.
What are you bought now?
Very good.
Oh, Master, commit
Scotch Road, S4 scale, Allan Goodwillie.
Why are we not straight?
Scotch Road depicts a scene on the Weems private railway. The lines were a group of mineral railways built to connect the coal pits on the land of the Weems estate to harbours and mainline railways for onward transportation. The collieries were nationalised in 1947 along with the sidings at the pits. The main lines nationalised in 1948, but the central section, known as the Weems Private Railway, remained in private hands.
Yeah. And basically the tire.
Car. No, that seems to be working as intended. It's working as intended. These are supposed to be on the layout, and there was not enough chance to put them on it. Could explain this bit. Not difficult to make. All linked together. And in trying to move it, I think we've damaged some of the joints. But the other thing that went painfully wrong is the tower. The tower is coming in. It's along the line short.
Cruive Yard, 009 gauge, John Galbraith. Cruive Yard takes its name from an old Scots word meaning a small space, certainly fitting for this extremely tiny micro layout that shows what it is possible to achieve without a vast track space. This entire 009 shunting scene is built inside a small plastic container box. Originally built as part of the 009 Society's Scottish Area Group exhibition for Model Rail Scotland, it is small enough that it can actually be transported to exhibitions by train.
The motion, it's like the motion on that. If anything ever went wrong with that, you know, you're in trouble. You'd have to build it from scratch.
You can actually take one of these if you want.
All right, that's very good. Okay.
It's when model engineering becomes micro. So, if you wanted to create a tram, a double-ended tram or something, then there's a powered chassis. It's 43. If you wanted to 3D print it,
It's good to have the rarer stuff operational.
but there's only me running it. It's got
Because it's just like any hobby, you know, if you don't have the rarer stuff operational, then it simply gets pushed aside and forgotten.
for these older models, all you've got is motors available, and that's it. Please be very careful.
These are spaced in the
See, I always thought it was just English.
Dalnottar Riverside, O-Gauge, Scottish Diesel and Electric Group. Dalnottar is located on the north bank of the River Clyde, near Kilpatrick, between Dalmuir and Bowling. There were 2 railways through this area, linking Glasgow with Dumbarton. The line still in use today was built by the North British Railway Company. The other line, built by the Caledonian Railway, was closed after becoming a victim of the Beaching Act in the late 1960s. The word Riverside was added to the line's Cally stations by British Rail in order to distinguish them from the North British stations. The Riverside line remained as a single line stump from Clydebank via Dalmuir to Dalnottar to serve local industries there. Shell Oil had a fuel terminal at Dalnottar, located at the end of the line. Other customers on the line were Sheavish Regal, Arnott Young Shipbreakers, and a coal yard also situated out there. The layout is set within the summer of 1979, with the premise being that during this time, the line still saw regular use of short-form passenger trains and DMUs serving Glasgow and Dumbarton, along with a multitude of mixed-rate freight trains serving the various industries on the line.
I'm on there in the mailbox. Where did you go?
Almond Bridge, 00 gauge, Perth Model Railway Group. Almond Bridge is a fictitious place, although the track layout is loosely inspired by that at Stirling circa 2003, with modellers' licence liberally applied to add additional tracks, a local refuelling and stabling point, permanent way, and commercial freight sidings and platforms. It is a modern image layout covering the period from the 1980s to the present day. This time frame allows for the display of rolling stock from the British Rail blue-grey era to the ever-changing liveries of the privatised railway companies.
other, and that's the local goes over it. Then the light will change back to red. Right. And then a timer.
Lineside, T-track demonstration, N-gauge, Aberdeen Model Railway Club. Lineside uses one of the three modular systems based on using the Cato N-gauge unitrack system to construct a tabletop model railway using various modular baseboards. This simple double-track oval with a fiddle yard behind the scenic section is a minimal space layout which could be expanded with additional modules. Mailingpark West, 00 gauge, 57 study group. Mailingpark West represents a line somewhere in Kent which links London to the Channel coast in the period before privatisation. The station supports a regular commuter service and the line carries a healthy flow of freight traffic. The station originally had a yard and associated goods shed along with a bay platform, which were closed during the 1970s. The yard on the outskirts of the town is, like the station, a shadow of its former self. It was expanded in the First World War due to its proximity to the Channel ports, and was again of importance between 1939 and 45, but its significance diminished during the 1950s and 60s. In the 1970s, it was reduced in size and remodelled by British Rail, with the bulk of the land being sold off for commercial development. The station building is loosely based on that at Sandwich, and the general layout of the roadway and level crossing at the end of the station platforms is another feature common to the area. Croft Bridge, O-Gauge, Pentland Model Railway Group. This model depicts the goods and locomotive fuelling facilities at Croft Bridge. The main station is beyond the bridge at the left-hand side of the model. Once a calling point on an east-west cross-country route, Croft Bridge is now the end of the line, following the collapse of a viaduct to the west and the beaching cuts.
No, they're doing the room, they're selling the room. See, before, they were, and the traders were selling them for 600, making glass. So Helgens is still going and say, they've done a deal with Cupar scale, with a double O's. Cupar scale's taken over the rest. I think Cruive, the agreement is that it's only for 299 45. Come on. Come on. You know.
It'll be a fair deal for all, eh?
So the amount of people, even if they were getting them for 300 quid, they held it. It's still making 200 now profit.
No, it's not just that. I mean, so it's about 12 foot long then, is it?
Sorry?
It's about 12 foot roughly.
Yes, that is 12 feet. Scenic Park is 6 feet. 10 feet is this one.
10 feet.
Yeah.
So that bit of border is 8 foot long.
That's what makes it into a micro OBs there, 6 feet, and then 4 foot from.
Williamson River, HO Gauge, Cupar and District Model Railway Club. Williamson River marks the end of a freight spur in British Columbia, Canada. Here, logs are commonly floated down the river after being chopped and debranched and collected at the transfer point and loaded onto freight cars for transportation to a local sawmill. The Williamson River Trading Company has a large warehouse by the river for storage and distribution. A small, early 20th century mine still produces minerals which are transported by rail for processing. The elevated line along the hillside carries passenger services to and from the city, with Bud rail cars frequently passing by.
Look at the sweet cars crashed into the water. See it? Yeah. A bear's looking in, trying to get in the caravan.
Take the high road, some people.
It's brilliant. It's really cool, isn't it? Yeah, look at that. That's so cool. That's brilliant.
Seen the bears on the way? Caravan, and there's some on the bench now.
Yeah, no, I'm still doing music. I'm actually taking a couple hours out tomorrow afternoon.
She's finishing up. She's on intensive care and she's finishing up. She's doing one of them. Yeah, well, I mean, she's been on heart board and now intensive care, so she's been. It's kept her
Killin Junction, N-Gauge, East Neuk Model Railway Club. Killin Junction is set on the Callander and Oban Railway, built between 1866 and 1880. A station for the village of Killin was opened in 1870, but this was inconveniently located at the top of Glen 5 miles away from the village and 550 feet above it. A branch line down to Loch Tay via Killin was proposed by the Marquess of Breadalbane in 1882, and thus Killin Junction was built, opening in 1886. Killin Junction was purely an interchange station, with no goods facilities, just two sidings to facilitate goods exchanges between the lines. No road or pedestrian access was provided, the footbridge over the branch line leading only to a pair of railway workers' cottages. The Loch Tay steamer ship services were withdrawn due to the war in 1939, which also led to the withdrawal of passenger trains, never to be reinstated. The line remained open as a local shed, watering and coaling facility until the whole line was closed by the beaching cuts.
There's a runabout thing, didn't he, on Saturday, didn't he, where you just used to set off and go in a big round circle?
A lot of that, yeah. No, that was a regular one at the weekend.
Oh, is it?
From the 6th. It must be the picture, 6th or
something like that.
So, whatever it's called, a standard 4 or something.
What, ran near the end?
It wasn't in the timetable. But they ran it anyway.
Shopping at what, Lidl in Glenrothes?
Yeah, Lidl in Calendar.
Lidl in Calendar, yeah. You get a look on the Friday.
You don't really get the idea of the railway in the countryside, you know?
I know.
So, many years, I think the Cruive is even not long after like scouts from England. So I went for it. You can actually get those and goes right through.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe and tune in for more videos here at Hollybush Railway.